All right, we don't hit that live button. What's good, Bully World? This is Zeb, your host, Bully Talking Zeb Pitts. Today we got the Wild Factor edition with James Cosby, aka Mr. Wild Factor. We got Curtis Collins,
AKA Gucci, Gucci
aka
glass.
Buck, Mr. MC. And last but not least, the man behind the lens, Loner Boy Visuals, man. What's good?
Man, what's good, Zeb? Man, I'm super excited. I'm happy and I'm proud to be here on your show live with Zeb Pitts, man. Happy Sunday to everybody. Pleasure to be here. Extremely honored. And Zeb, most importantly, man, I'm so happy that you said yes to come out and be the fun show judge at the Wow Factor, man, our home court right here in Dayton, Ohio. So I think that's just huge for the entire bully community. Um, to have someone of your experience and to come out to Ohio, to judge the dogs, being that you've been all over the world, videoing dogs and taking pictures of dogs, to have you at the Wow Factor is just, man, it's just what they say, par for the course, man. It's just like it's history in the making for real, man. It's a game changer for us.
Fact.
Hey man,
So
I truly appreciate it, man. It was an honor. I was humbled. And I couldn't wait to get back with you to say yes, man. I'm truly blessed, man. Never been to the Wild Factor. Now I get a chance to be there because there's always something going on.
yeah,
And this time, man, I get a chance to get out there to the Wild Factor, man. Before we chop it up with everyone, man, let's talk about it, man. How did the concept of the Wild Factor all come about?
yeah. Well, honestly, man, the Wow Factor came about. I used to host the ABKC show called Bringing Out the Bullies, and when the ABKC they did away with like the extreme categories, I didn't like the direction that the shows were going into. I didn't like the direction that the bullies were going into, as far as they were getting cleaner, more terrier type phenotypes. And me, I prefer dogs big heads, low to the ground, wide chest, shoulder spread. That's always been what I like. So around that time in 2015, this exotic movement really started to take off. So what I did is I did a rebranding. So I created a Facebook page called the Wow Factor, Wow Factor Facebook group page. And the Wow Factor Facebook group page came about because I was feeling like, man, all I'm seeing is just mediocre dogs after mediocre dogs. So I wanted a group that people could go to and see nothing but head turners, nothing but showstoppers, nothing but wow factor. So I created the page. It was an exclusive page where when you would go to the Wow Factor page, you would see Wow Factor dog after Wow Factor dog, nothing but hitters. And then from that birthed the Wow Factor, switching from ABKC to the ABR and just creating a whole new brand and with the Wow Factor. And that's how the Wow Factor came about. Just wanting to have something that was just not regular, just not mediocre. And then that birthed the Facebook page, birthed the show, and then that's where we're at today. It's the Wow Factor, baby.
Now let's talk about that because, like you said, during that time you were attending the ABKC shows and
Well,
you did
I was hosting my own
hosting and
ABKC.
hosting.
Yeah, yeah.
What was it about the extreme class that made you feel a certain way? Because that was during the time when right after Big Papa was a part of that extreme class, and then I think right after that they got rid of it.
They did. They got rid of it, man. And just like all great inventions, it created the exotic movement, birthed from that out of necessity, because now we no longer had a home. And then, so that extreme class, in my opinion, birthed the exotic class. And that, like I said, that's what was true to me. That's what I enjoyed. That's what I like to see. I was never really, I like standards, but it was always that extreme is what really drove me to the breed and what I fell in love with. Like the first dog I saw, like the two dogs I saw back in the day, where it was like the Bullmaster. The Bullmaster was an extreme dog. Big head, super wide fronts. I like dogs like that. Dogs like Folsom. Dogs with dogs like Thing. With extreme characteristics. So I've always gravitated to that. And like I said, so once that happened, I guess I jumped on board of that bandwagon early with the exotics. You know, I was with it, you know, as it was you know, coming up, and I just knew that's was the direction that I wanted to go in, and then that's what I shifted my whole business model towards. As far
Now,
as,
Buck, I got to ask you about this. Now, you remember this during this time on the East Coast? You remember the show up in Jersey? That video. Actually, that video I called it the Exotic Takeover. That's actually my biggest video with over 1 million. You remember what you said on that video? Where you said you ain't got to go to Cali, man. We got dogs right here on the East Coast. Remember that during that time?
Yep. And after that video, I got my first client from California, Casanova Harris, Crush Kennels. He got one of the biggest movements over in Cali. Bought his first dog off the first exotic.
That's what's up.
And everybody, he got that dog to his house. He's George from Bully Camp Line went to his house and was like, "Yo, I know you like 20 grand for that dog. Where you get that dog from?" He said, "Man, I got this dog from my man Buck over in New Jersey." George and them.
Hey, Buck, at that particular time, how important was that to get that call from Cali that they were getting something from the East Coast and bringing it out to Cali during that time when it was big that with the exotic movement out there in Cali?
Man, it was crazy, man. I was just blessed like that. You know, he started like hitting me up, asking me could he buy a dog. I was just like in awe. Like I didn't know what to say. I was like, "Who this?" He was like, "Yeah, my Cash from Crush Kennels. Hey, I'm interested in that mail that you had." And from there, we just got the ball rolling, and it was just a smooth business transaction. And me and Cash been like brothers ever since.
Now, James, how did it all come about that you reached out to Buck to be your MC for the Wow Factor? How did that all come about?
Well, to be honest, man, to give credit where credit is due, my wife actually was like, I think Curtis Collins would be a great MC. I first met Curtis Collins the same year I joined with the ABR family. It was 2016. I did a show in Dayton, Ohio, and then I did an East Coast show at Hamburg Fairgrounds, right outside of Buffalo, New York. And that was the first time I met Buck in person. And it was crazy because I didn't even know of Buck, and I didn't even know of Hold That Thought. And here I am promoting the Wow Factor. The Wow Factor's going to be one of the biggest shows. Trying to get people to come out. Doing all my marketing things that I do. And Buck got on my radar because he posted a picture of Hold That Thought. Now, Buck, I don't know if you remember. He posted a picture of Hold That Thought and was like, James Cosby must not know who Hold That Thought is. And at the time, I didn't. And he was like, oh, he must not know who we are. And then they reached out to me. Buck got a booth. And then at the show was going, the show was jumping. And then I don't even know how it happened. Buck ended up getting a mic in his hand. And it was just natural. And then at that point, my wife was like, that's our MC. And then I was like, you know what? You're right. Because up until that point, I emceed all my own shows by myself. Like when I was at ABKC, all my ABKC shows, I emceed myself. And then when Buck got on the microphone, just his natural ability, to me, I felt comfortable like that's somebody I could pass the torch to. He's somebody who has the same energy, the same passion to really, boost my show. And plus, his network is huge, and he's well loved within the bully community. So it only made sense. And so afterwards, after the Buffalo, New York show, I reached out to Buck and I was like, "Hey man, I'd like you to MC my next show." And he was like, "Hey brother, I ain't no MC." You know what I'm saying? I was like, "Man, you got some talent. I think you'd be really good at it." And he was like, "Well, let me think about it. I'll get back with you." He got back with me soon after. And he said, "You know what? Let's give this a try. I'll MC." And Buck has been my MC ever since 2016. Yep,
Hey, Buck.
He's been MCing my show, man.
How nervous were you the first time?
For real, I wasn't really nervous. It was just like,
don't get nervous.
I always been like public speaking class. I love public speaking class. I love just getting up talking because like, you know, my mom was really like, she and still is like, she's very vocal. And me growing up, I watched that. My mom didn't back down from no man. She didn't back down from anything. And she just was always vocal. And I used to watch how when my mom would talk, everybody would shut their mouth and listen. So like me coming up, it was just like, you know, my uncles and always like, yo, not no follower, to a leader, lead by example, boo boo, you know. And I seen how many people that my uncle had up underneath him. He was like the president of one of the largest motorcycle clubs in the area. So, you know, me just being around a bunch of strong-willed people that didn't back down and they spoke and people just listened, it just rubbed off on me. And I never really had a problem with like talking to people or just, you know, demanding respect when I talk. So it was just like, it really like kind of came natural.
You know, right after that, I had saw you started getting booked for requests for weddings and everything else, man, hosting.
Yo, I done did so many events, some events that I just don't even post up. Like I got booked to do a wedding reception. They said, "Oh, we've been hearing so much." Yo, when I tell you, that was one of the best wedding receptions I ever been a part of, man. Like I've been getting booked for like a lot of low key stuff that I just sometimes don't even talk about. But you know, I'm just blessed, man.
Just to chime in real quick, man, Buck's talent is God given, and if you were to ever meet Buck in person, you know, you meet those people who just have that special light. You know, they have that light inside, they have that energy inside, and just real good-hearted people. And I can honestly say, I'm starting to get a little emotional. I can honestly say Buck is one of those people. Just like his light shines bright, and you know, and when you're around somebody who light shines that bright, you can't help to want to be around them. You can't help but to want to hear what they have to say. So he, you know, MCing is a perfect outlet for him because it's hard to you can't fake that kind of energy. You can't fake that kind of light. You can't fake that kind of love. And that's what he brings. That's what he brings to the wow factor, and that's what he brings to any event, you know, or any place that he goes. You know, you step in the room, you gonna know Buck is there for sure.
Appreciate it.
For sure. Now, James, I gotta ask you about the young man to your left over there, man.
Yeah.
Very talented brother. Man, what he does behind the lens is amazing, number one. Number two, what he do in the booth is amazing.
Yeah.
True story. We in the car ride. What was that? You picked me up for the Rumble in the Jungle.
Yeah, it's Texas.
Headed over to the venue. He put this rapper on. I was like, damn, he fire, man. I was like, who is that? He said, that's me. I was like, what?
Yeah, we was tapped in. We was tapped in, man. We was definitely tapped
most
in.
definitely, man. Good young brother right there, man. Very talented, man. How did it all come about, man, that Loner Boy Visuals became part of the team?
Yeah, he is Loner Boy is a really good guy, really good dude. I can't say enough, you know, great things about him. You know, I'm fortunate enough to have this talented brother, you know, right around the corner. He's about a 30-minute drive from me. And Loner Boy came out to one of my shows at the Wow Factor. And, you know, that's when we first, I think I might have first met him at another show. But when he came to my show, he did some work and he started posting some work. And then, you know, we linked up and I was like, all right, let's do it. You know, I heard his story. You know, he's got a testimony. He's got a serious testimony from where he's been. You know, when people talk about, you know, out the mud or, you know, I started from the bottom, Loner Boy can seriously say, you know, he started from the bottom. And I'm always an advocate for the underdog, you know, especially a young brother that's trying to make it and doing their best and trying to do right by people, you know, not, you know, he could be doing 1,000 other things that are wrong and destructive, but what he's trying to do and what he's always been trying to do is be constructive. So I'm gonna always advocate for the underdog that's trying to be constructive and do something positive. I feel like in the position that I'm in and the platform that I have, I'm all about reaching down and pulling people up. You know, if I can help you, I'm going to do my best to try to help you. And me and Loner Boy, we've been rocking and rolling, you know, for a while now.
Yeah,
you know, and
about
I
3 years
try to,
now.
yeah, about 3 years now, and I even try to create, you know, certain things
Car.
to keep it popping. Huh?
I said, I need some help. Let me get that purple car.
I said the same thing. I said the exact same thing.
Yeah. And then, you know, I think, you know, I try to surround myself also with, you know, with talented people, of course, and also people that are going to bring things to the table. So for me, Loner Boy brings a younger eye. You know, I'll be 45 this July. Loner Boy brings a younger eye. He has his finger on the pulse because he's a young man, you know. So he keeps me young. He keeps me from being too old. Like, well, James, think about this. You know, Loner Boy's had numerous.
I think we lost James.
Yeah, James went out.
Yeah, he'll probably come back in.
Oh, there he goes. There he goes.
When you see this uptick I've taken on Instagram, a large part of that is due to Loner Boy. You know, in my ear, like, James, you need to do more reels. You need to do this. You need to do this. You can work them algorithms. You know, stay in front of people. Stay more consistent. You know, Loner Boy. You know, so it's back and forth. You know, it's a two-way street. And same thing with Buck. I don't know how Buck do it. You know, like, he got thousands and thousands of followers. I got thousands and thousands of followers, but I probably only know like maybe 50 people's names. Buck know everybody damn name.
Yeah,
I'm like,
he definitely does.
I'm
really
like,
do, man. That's great.
Oh, I'm like, Buck, damn, somebody walking up on me. I'm like, Buck, what's his name? Like, man, his name is John. So I'll be like, okay, bet. Like, I don't know how Buck do it, but that just shows like the genuineness of Buck. Buck got 10,000 people's names in his head that follow him on social media. I'm gonna be honest, you know, it's all love, and I appreciate everybody who follows and supports. But I may not remember y'all name. You know,
hey, same here. I get it from my mama, man. I can't remember everybody. I can remember faces, but names, I'm bad.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
I don't know if you go through a list before we go to the show, like people that might show up, but Buck be knowing their names for real. I salute you. I admire that about you so much, but because I don't be knowing these people's names all like that.
Oh, that guy right there. I go, that's so and so, Jay. He's like, oh man, he been following me for a long time. I'm like, yeah, tap it.
Yeah, Buck
Hey, James,
me feel awful.
I want to piggyback on what you said, man, about Loner Boy and his story of coming out the mud, because I wanted to talk about that, man, because you know, we had that car ride, we was talking about it, man.
I missed the last podcast, bro. That was my bad, but yeah, for sure, definitely can touch on it.
Yeah,
man, talk about it, man. Growing up from where you're from, man, and it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm originally from Dayton, Ohio, right up the street, and I just like any other kid. I mean, I had good parents. You know, I had good parents. They was always there. They did good. You know what I'm saying? As much as they could. They worked 9 to 5 jobs just like everybody else. But you know, going to college and playing football and then coming home right immediately. It just wasn't in the plan for everybody else. You know, everybody thought, you know, he's going to be a football player, this. And once when I came home, I never worked a job a day in my life, you know, and like it was just always handed to me, like football. It's always going to be handed to me. So by the time the real world get to me, I don't know shit about it. Like I don't know nothing. So, you know, this is when people, you know, is getting tired of, you know, grown men being in the house, you know, you got to go. So I'm 17, 18 years old, you know, living in a truck. And I ain't know how to manage money, keep money, all this other stuff. So my whole entire life just kind of kept going down the drain, and found myself being too far, too deep, you know, in the street situations and all types of stuff. And I was homeless for the longest. I think I wasn't home. I think it was like 2 years. It was like 3 years ago. Once when I got in a dog game, you know what I'm saying? Once when I got introduced to everybody in the dog game, I remember Ben Janutalo hit me up. He hit me up and was like, "Yo, can you record my show?" And I think it was a show in Indiana, we did that, and you know, it went good. And then the next show, I think that's where I met James and everybody at, and I might have met Buck there too. I'm not sure. I might have. And
Yeah.
I think, yeah. So I pretty much met everybody all in it was like a 3-week span. But I think it was the time period that me meeting everybody was like, you know, it was just that time, you know, like I said it on my podcast last night with James. I was just like, everybody at that time that linked up, and, you know, everybody really sprouted as far as the Midwest goes, and you know, in the East Coast or whatever. From what I see, you know what I'm saying? Everybody was on the same level. Then everybody just kind of came up together. And so as far as my childhood goes, it's super deep, man. I can't get all the way into it. We have to do the separate side, but you know what I'm saying? It was definitely hard, and I had to stay motivated and submerge myself with work, and no matter what. And that's why I preach the same thing to James and anybody else who work with me, man. If you trying to make yourself, if you're trying to become a name, man, you gotta stay relevant no matter what. It's all about, you know, consistency and popping up and being in people's faces. So I feel like, you know, if you really about, you know, influencing, and just like you know what I'm saying, you go on your YouTube channel, you got massive work, you know what I'm saying? And that's really that's really the route that I took. It was just harder for me to maneuver, you know, at the time, but I prayed and made sure I focused on every opportunity that there is to offer, you know, that was to offer me, and I just capitalized every single one of them. And you know what I'm saying? I work with a whole lot of different people through that, and you know what I'm saying? It's what I've been doing. So I think the reason why I stand out a little different is because I don't work a job, and I don't do anything else. So all my attention and my energy is really focused on being the best videographer, best photographer, best podcaster, best anything I could do. You know what I'm saying? And that's really what I, you know, best rapper, best anything that I put my mind to. I try to be the best at it and nurture it, so that way it could be a reflection on my life, and then I could take my life, you know, become further away from that situation.
I got a question for you.
What's up?
If you didn't, how you think your life would have been if you didn't get involved with the dog game?
I think I still would have been
based on the timing and what you were going through at the time.
I feel like my name wouldn't have been as big. I kind of always had a big name. I've been viral a couple times, was on MTV, was on, you know, just always did shit, you know what I'm saying? So I think the dog game with the community, like the dog community, and how close everybody is, and like it's like a family, you know, we're all like just like everybody said, you know, we're like a family. And I think with that, it just made everything amp up a little more, as far as like my support with the videos and my support with, you know, I'm talking to people from North Dakota and, you know, all the California, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm from Dayton, Ohio. I used to be homeless, asking people for money out in the gas station, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like that definitely helped. I still would have been relevant, because that's my whole gig. Like, I'm gonna be in somebody's face, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be useful somewhere. It don't matter what it is, I'll be useful somewhere. And like I was in the music field, so you know that probably would have still been a thing. But the dog game is so big, and the pipelines are so crazy that, you know, it's
and brotherhoods involved.
yeah, to where the support, and that's why. And like I think like a lot of people just be looking at like the people who aren't in the dog game, they kind of look like, oh, I got fan bases from all over. But if you go and look at my likes and everything, it'd be camps, it'd be kennels, like, you know what I'm saying? The fan base and the support system really is from the kennels, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I always try to give back to the dog game as much as I can, and I try to keep my energy in the dog game, because this is where, you know, it kind of, you know, it definitely changed my life, you know what I'm saying? So
I got a question for all three, man. The wow factor. What dog can you think of in all the attendance of the wow?
Hey, Zeb, I'm sorry, I'm having trouble hearing. For some reason, I can't hear anymore.
We can hear you.
Wow. We can definitely hear you. Can you hear us?
I can barely hear you guys.
You want to come out and come back in? Right,
yeah, let me come out and come back in, because it was attached to the truck, and then once I got out the truck, now I can't hear.
Oh, blue.
Okay.
All right, I'll come out and I'll come back in.
Okay.
You gotta go get back in the truck.
All right, Buck. First one for you, man. The wow factor, man. What dog wowed you at the wow factor?
Out of all of them?
Yeah,
ooh, that's a good question.
Sheesh.
I know, man.
I
know.
got a dog. I definitely got a dog. I ain't gonna lie.
I got a dog. Matter of fact, I got 2 dogs. I was wild, not really because I know him and I see him a lot, but
Yeah, it's still not.
last year, I want to say, last year and the year before that, I'm always gonna rock out with my squad. So the 2 dogs that wow me like is Money Maniacs OJ, his boy Moneybags. That dog is definitely a wow factor dog. And the next dog was a female owned by Brandon and Shiz over at TSP. That female that they had, what was her name again? Cartel.
Is that the Black Joan?
Nah, that's that lilac female that they had.
Okay. No. I'm thinking of the wrong person.
That got to be one of the hardest females that I ever laid eyes on. And yeah, they my 2 top wow factor dogs that I can honestly say.
Well, what about you, Loner Boy?
I'm actually trying to find this dude's name so that way I can shout him out. I just seen him on a post with I don't even remember his dog's name, but I just seen him on a post with on Bully Spitting Podcast talking about here it go right here. TSP Shiz.
Yeah.
He got that black dog.
Nah, which one? LA Midnight?
I think so. The female?
No, the female they don't got her no more. Black Ice. They sold her.
Okay. Well, at that show, I'm gonna say that dog, fire. I like that dog a lot. And then
they pull her.
And then Ryan Gillum's female. He had a female that came out and won baddest everything. Goddamn, like
she was harder than some males.
Yeah. He had a lilac try, I believe. And she is nuts. I'm talking about. I hope he brings her out this year. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, Ryan ain't even got to bring her out. He got so many damn dogs that he could bring out. And wow.
I was just like, yeah, I know he does. That's the crazy part. But I was just like, he brought that girl, and I was like, yo, I've never seen no female, that look like that for real. So,
hey, what's the American bully presence like at the Wow Factor?
It's dope too.
Yeah.
Because with Midwest being how it is, man, with those American bullies out there, man.
Well, see,
I was wondering.
Kentucky. I feel like Kentucky really packs a lot of the Kentucky and Indiana. It's right here. You know what I'm saying? So Kentucky and Indiana really are like
American bullies.
And then you got like
can't hear you, Buck.
I said the Midwest, like where he just said Indiana and Kentucky, they do have a lot of dope American bullies.
Yeah. They really like. Folk like they don't do nothing else but that. You know what I'm saying? I know camp in Kentucky that I work with a lot. They got their dog True, and they're strictly that. You know what I'm saying? And they take it serious. I know Jones Royal Bullies. He has a show out there all the time. I'm booked for that too as well. But it's nothing but pockets and American bullies. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So they bring them. Especially the wow factor, especially the wow factor being like this, the Midwest Super Bowl almost, and they just gonna be out there. They always are.
You definitely see some heat out there, said.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you, Buck, until James get back on, man. How did it all come about for him to take the wow factor to Philly?
I was already thinking about it, but I just was like all over the place with it. And for me, I really, I do a lot of dog business down here. I got 2 kennel partners. They busy. They all over the place. I'm all over the place with my kids, and they always on the go. My son with this football. So it's just like I'm all over the place, still trying.
He had to get back in the truck.
Yeah. I said, hey, I'm gonna go back to what I know. I'm gonna get back in the truck. Sorry, Bud. Go ahead, bro.
So outside of like doing all them breedings, I just was like all over the place. And James just called me one day, and he was like, "Yo, Buck," but it wasn't odd because me and James busted up a lot. So he was like, "Yo," he was like, "What you think about a show in Philly?" First thing I said, "Well, let's do it." He said, "We're gonna bring the Wow Factor to Philly. Call it the Wow Factor Philly edition." I said, "James, listen, figure it all out, call me back, tell me what I need to do. When I tell you, and I tell everybody this, James has to be one of the most business complete savvy. I'm talking about a monster. Like, if I was to ever start a business, if I was to ever do anything in that aspect of doing anything business, I'm calling James.
Definitely.
James found the venue. He talking back and forth with these people. He get a little frustrated with this. I'm like, all right, I say, all right, big bro, just take a deep breath. They gonna call back. They call us back. But it was just like, I'm so all over the place. And, you know, not one time did it ever cross my mind that it was going to cause a problem or any friction between me and James. Right from the gate, people calling me. Yo, Buck, I want to lock in for a booth. I'm like, hit James up. Oh, well, ain't this your show too? You can't. I said, listen, what you ain't going to do is tell me how my partner going to do this. I'm all over the place. I can't even sit down and take no money for no booth or do none of that nonsense. I just don't have it. Like, even though, like, you know, a lot of people say, oh, well, you know, you MC, you got, it's certain things that I know that I'm not good with and I stay away from it. James is like a savage when it comes to like putting this stuff together, getting people in place where they need to be, get documentation. He like sending me so many documentations, just Buck, look it over. I'm like,
military style.
Man, putting this. So when he said it, I was like all aboard for it. You know, he drove down one weekend. He stayed down here. We went to the hotels. We checked out the hotels. We checked out the venue. And it was just like, I'm like, damn, it's really happening. We getting ready to get this thing popping. And, you know, we go sit down with the director of the venue. And, you know, they just feeling our whole vibe. Like, and it was just like, dang. So I was like, man, I mean, look, I tell people all the time, man, look, James is the best partner. They were like, oh, well, would you ever think about doing your own? I said, nope. If I ain't got James included, I ain't throwing no damn show. I see what it take, and I know what it take. And that man right there has all the T's crossed, the I
and the energy for it
every day, bro. I'm telling you, man.
Hey, James, I gotta ask you.
I appreciate that, man.
With the Wow Factor Philly edition, was that without a registry at that time?
No, every Wow Factor has been ABR sanctioned shows. Every single one.
I was going to ask you that because at one point in time, you were thinking about going completely away from that. What made you decide to keep the relationship going with the ABR, to make them incorporated into the Wow Factor?
The thing is, there were some changes within the ABR, and I don't want to go into deep with that on this podcast, but there were some changes that were going to be implemented that weren't going to be conducive to the Wow Factor. And it was never a matter that I wanted to leave the ABR. I love the ABR. I love being part of the ABR family. I think a large part of my growth has been because of our relationship. And I'd have to say, you know, a large part of their growth has been because of the Wow Factor relationship as well, because a lot of people come to the Wow Factor and a lot of people do sign up for the ABR, or if they don't sign up for the sanction show, now they know about the ABR as a resource to register their dogs. And that is something that's going to live on for years to come. There'll be dogs. I always say people who come to the Wow Factor might have came to the Wow Factor 3-4 years ago, but they're still having litters year after year after year. So when me, Buck, Loner Boy are long done with the Wow Factor and old and retired, there'll be somewhere people who first registered their dogs at the Wow Factor still registering their dogs at the Wow Factor, or their kids will be, or their grandkids will be. So that's going to be that residual for the for the ABR. But to your point, there was a brief moment where I was going to break away and just be a fun show, just stand on its own, the Wow Factor. But I want to say, tip my hat to Albert, the owner of the ABR, we had a conversation, and we were able to come to terms with keeping us as a family and keeping the Wow Factor and the ABR together. And I'm grateful that we were able to do that and find common ground and continue our business relationship. And hopefully, we can continue to do so for years to come. Because when I did announce that I was going to break away and just be a fun show, I've had people who've supported the Wow Factor, the ABR Sanction Show for years, and I didn't want to hurt that percentage of my following, as far as not being able to get points towards champions and grand champions. So I like to always keep my show all inclusive, have a sanction show, have a fun show. That way I cater to the entire bully community and not just the table stackers.
Hey, James, being the Midwest guy, what was the response when you let the community know that you were bringing the Wow Factor to Cali?
That California, announcement has been well received. I've got, like I said, a really big following here in the Midwest and the East Coast. And they're excited. I've got some top tier kennels, some premier kennels from the East Coast that really want to make that trip with me. And that's one thing that's a testament to the Wow Factor. It has a lot of loyalty. People are loyal. There's a young lady. The Wow Factor was her first dog show ever. She lives in Michigan. Chiquita Kennels is what she goes by. Sarah in Michigan. And she's hitting every Wow Factor. She's coming to Ohio. She's going to Cali, and she's going to Philly. And we have that kind of loyal base. So to answer your question, it was very well received. And then the people in California, Northern California, Sacramento especially, they have rolled out the red carpet for the Wow Factor. And every time someone books a booth from California, the sentiment is the same. Thank you for bringing a show of this caliber to our state. Thank you. And I think they're going to really show, because they want me to come back year after year. And that's something I want to do. Usually when I do something, I try to stay consistent. But, I do stay consistent, and I want it to be annual. And the people in California, they want that for the Wow Factor as well. They're like, we're going to come out, we're going to support, because we want you to come back, and we're grateful to have you. Because it's been a long time since they've had any kind of shows, any kind of bully shows in Northern California. It's been a long time.
Now, James, will
Yeah,
you
man.
be taking the Wow Factor international? That's one of the questions from my bully community. Will it be going international?
Yes, absolutely. One day, probably next year. I always try to stay 2-3 steps ahead. If you watch me, I'm an idea guy. I'm an idea guy. I'm the ultimate optimist. I try to make the best out of every situation. I'm always planning ahead. And if you watch the moves that I make, you can kind of see the blueprint, see the footwork of where I'm going. I've got a great relationship with Predator Bullies, Mark Law in the UK, and we've been in negotiations for having a Wow Factor. I'm going to drop it right now on your podcast, Wow Factor UK 2024.
Oh, wow.
So that's what we planning. Right, that's what we planning to. Yeah. So get your passport. Get your passports, guys.
Get the passport.
Hey, Zeb, I got to tell you this, though. When you come to Ohio in 2 weeks, you going to see something that you don't get to see at any show. I don't care whose show it is. I've been to 1 million shows. And when you get to this show, you are never going to ever, hear me right there, you never are going to see what you're going to see at James' show. You want to see one man and his entire family on the same damn page. He's got second cousins, third cousins, grandmoms, great grandmoms, aunts. One of his aunts probably gonna jack me up when she see me. I've been supposed. My sister make all types of jackets and clothes, and I came to James' show with this crazy jacket on one year that my sister made, and I was supposed to get Aunt's jacket. I'm still working on it. Please don't jack me up when I get down there again. But
There
hey,
you go.
listen, man. From the first time I got to Ohio, when I tell you his family is one of the biggest, lovingest. I mean, bring you in, make you feel so comfortable. Like it ain't no, yo, what's up, Buck? It's yo, cuz, yo, bro. Hey, nephew. Like it's all on this, and they all working. Like James ain't spreading the wealth with his man Ray that he grew up with. He ain't spreading it with his boy Phil that he went. Man, he got his whole entire family in there working on the same page, on the same accord, the same tune, and they in there making it happen, bro.
Sun up the sun down too, boy.
Sun up the sun down. Like
hey, Jay, I see you making things happen. I saw the truck full of Modelo's that I've been hearing about, this famous Hennessy strawberry
Ooh,
drink.
Yeah.
Don't miss out on that, bro.
And that's something, you know, we got going for us. You know, I'm 11 years in, you know, as far as hosting dog shows. So, you know, experience is something that can't be replaced. And we run like a well-oiled machine, like Buck said. And thank you, Buck, for the kind words. I appreciate it. You know, I do have my family, you know, working, helping. You know, majority of the staff is family. And that's what comes across when you have people who genuinely love you and want to see you be successful. That's why the show is so great, because there's just so much love in the atmosphere. There's so much love and just dedication to the show because they want it to be a success, because the love that they have for me. You know, when my parents were living, you know, rest in peace, you know, they were on the ground floor helping me. My dad would be doing the grilling. My mama was taking the money. But now, you know, my sister, she stepped up in a major way. My sister runs the.
His sister got married and her husband fell right in line.
Yeah, he did. He did. And he's not that guy, you know, but he knew coming into this family, he was going to have to be that guy. He's not a people person like that, but he knew, like, we got these dog shows. You got to roll your sleeves up and get down. And so now, you know, big shout out to brother-in-law. He stepped right in because my sister runs the kitchen for me. So all the concession stuff, my sister takes care of that. She runs that. My sister, my niece, my cousin runs the environmental. So all the cleanup stuff is my cousin. The bar, my two cousins run the bar and a close family friend, you know. So and then the front end staff is my wife and then two more really close family friends that have been with me since day one, you know, practically since the inception of me hosting dog shows. So you know, everyone knows that.
You can't forget my
registration.
You can't forget my baby at registration.
You're right. My good close family friend Ivory, she runs registration. So it's like, you know, it's super loyal. Everyone knows their job. Everyone knows what to do. You know, Buck's been with us for years. Now Loner Boy's been with us for years. So everyone plays their part and they play it well. You know, I'll be quite frank. We got a team of all-stars. You know, the Wow Factor has a team of all-stars. We truly do. They know their position, they know their jobs, and they do it to the fullest.
And look, you forgetting about one more. You forgetting about my superstar DJ.
Oh
yes,
you can't forget the
DJ.
You do got one of the fires DJs. I ain't gonna cap.
Yeah, DJ already. He does, and
me and that boy, like you would think, me and him was working together for years. Like I walk in, he'd be like, "Buck." I said, man, you already know what to do.
Yeah.
Family reunion.
So basically, at the Wow Factor, you pretty much got 3 MCs. I'm on the mic, Buck's on the mic, and the DJ on the mic too. Like it's my thing is I never want people to be bored, because honestly, man, dog shows can get real boring. So I try my best to keep it fun, to keep it light. You know, I wanted to have a feel good atmosphere. I wanted to have a party atmosphere. I wanted to be the best party, best dog show you ever been to. I want when you leave the Wow Factor to really say to yourself, I had a really good time. I enjoyed myself. I want you smiling ear to ear on that 6-hour, 10-hour, 15-hour drive back home. And then also too, Buck, we got to shout out. I got some of the best security in the world. You know, big shout out to my boy Daniel and David. They've been holding me down for a long time. My guy Britt, you know, they keep everyone safe. and keep everyone comfortable. We got tons of security at the Wow Factor, so be patient with my guys, because you come to the Wow Factor, you're gonna get pat down. You gotta leave your guns and your knives in the car, because we don't have any of that inside the building.
Yeah, they don't even let me in with a knife.
Yeah, even Buck got to check his knife at the door. So yeah.
Hey, I gotta ask you this, Loner Boy, man. You've been putting out, man, some fire work, man, as far as the music, man. Can we expect a Loner Boy album?
Man, I've been getting asked that a lot, man. I ain't gonna lie. They been like, man, you been dropping singles. When you gonna put something together? I've been thinking about it, man. I ain't gonna lie. I told myself when I drop 10 singles, I do it. I just work on the album. And I think it's time.
And another question for you, man. Have different camps ever reached out to you, man, to get some music for their kennel?
Man, all the time. But see, it's hard for me to do that. I can do it super easy, but I just don't want to. I don't know. We'll see. I'll see.
I'm still waiting on.
Yeah, because
I'm still waiting on a Wow Factor theme song.
Yeah, James was definitely asking for a theme song. And
tell him how we had it turned up in North Carolina with your music.
I was gonna say that too. I swear I was gonna say that, man. Buck, yeah, shout out Buck. We was down in North Carolina, and I was filming the show, and Buck, man, turn that loner on, turn that Loner Boy on, man. Gave me the mic. I did like 2 songs. That was when I dropped Accusations, and I think it was Leave Me Alone. That was when I just dropped Leave Me Alone, but I had Accusations out.
I had him performing this music at the show.
Yeah,
I used this music in the Rumble in the Jungle video. I was like, shit, I'm using this. I said, this joint fire, man.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. He put it in one of my videos too.
Yeah. Philly on my bike with the music playing through the car. They like, yo, who is that? They thought it was Moneybagg Yo. I said, nah, that's one of my boys in the dog game, man.
Yeah, like, I didn't hear that. Oh, somebody say he's or Kevin. They thought it was Kevin Gates. I said, nah.
I hear that every day. Every time.
Yeah, that's Loner Boy.
I said, nah, that's my young boy, man.
Now I got asked y'all about the dogs, man. I see James, man. Did you pick up another pup? Recently?
I did. Yep. I picked up another pup. I named him Mr. Midwest, man. I'm loving the way this boy's maturing. I couldn't be happier.
Now, Buck, I know you still got your boy over there in the cut, man. The one I seen at the Buchella.
Oh, Mr. Shrink.
Mr. Shrink.
Yeah, me and my kennel partners.
How things turning out with him, man, and how things going with him?
He a beast.
He dropping some crazy litters on the ground, man. Got to start busting out a lot of new productions to bust out this year. So I'm actually, sometimes I'll be glad when I get the chance to like not be working and MCing, because I get to get a lot of stuff done with like my kids, my kennel partners, do different breedings. Like shout out to Ryan Gilliam. Like, Ryan been like, one thing I noticed with this breeding, a lot of people just try to run to the hottest stud. With me being that hold that thought created a whole line for me, and I kept 2 females like off of every litter. Like, the blood was a little bit older. So, once I tapped in with Ryan Gilliam and I saw what his yard did with my yard, it was off to the races. I think right now, between me and my kennel partners, we probably got about 10 breedings with Ryan Gilliam.
He got a dope yard, one of the best in the world.
And everything.
I gotta get an interview with him, man. I'm surprised I never
did.
Like you said, he got one of the best yards out there.
Everything that we bred off of his yard, we got some fire.
It's super consistent too. Ron's a friend of mine, and I'm not afraid to say he's got a really good yard, one of the best yards in the country, and he's got a program, and it's very consistent. And I'll drop a gem. My girl Cookie, she is. We're gonna do the C-section first week of April, and everybody knows I bred the Pimpy. But what some people may not be aware of, I did a dual sire to one of Ryan Gilliam's crown sons. So I'm excited about this breeding. So let that sink in. I'm gonna have Pimpy puppies and puppies off probably one of the best crown sons in the world at the same time. the same
All right,
time.
we ain't
All right,
wrapping it up yet, but
hey,
I
real-
gotta let Lola Boy go because he gotta go pick
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, I gotta make some moves real quick and I gotta go shoot. So but I definitely appreciate, you know what I'm saying, having me on here, especially with the guys, man. I can't wait till March 18th, man. We all link up, man. Can't wait. It's gonna be lit.
And be on the lookout. We're gonna do a part 2 with Loner Boy because we gotta extend that long version, man, to really get the story.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. We can get it in for sure.
Definitely, man. Looking forward to seeing you in Ohio, big dog.
I can't wait. All right, y'all.
All right,
Y'all be
little bro.
safe.
You all ready?
All right,
Buck.
be good,
All right,
Loner Boy.
James. All right, Zep. You
All right,
already know.
brother.
Yeah.
Now, y'all, man, I got the belt coming. It's a special, man. When I say it's special, man, I can't wait to reveal that.
Tell James who was the first person to ever win a dead book.
Hold that thought. Shout out to Hold That Thought, man. Shout out to Hold
Oh,
That
that's
Thought.
what's up.
I was the first person, James.
That's when I had
Work,
the globe.
Hold.
You remember the globe I had?
Yeah. Work, Hold.
That was
And
from the Delaware
Jeff,
show. Delaware show.
yeah, thank you for doing that. Bringing the belt. I really appreciate that. I'm extremely grateful. Was that the Delaware show I was at also? Or was it a different one?
Was James at that ABR show?
I think so.
I think so.
I think we got a picture.
Yeah, I think so. We got a picture together. Was it like out kind of like under like a? We weren't quite outside, but it was like kind of like under like a
barn, not a barn,
like a barn type thing. It was like a not a pavilion, but like it was like it was outside but not outside. It had like an overdrop. That's when like was it Norm? He was part of that with the Delaware.
Yeah, you was.
I was at that. Yeah, I was at that show, man. Yep, you did your award, and I gave out a Wow Factor award. Yep, I was there. Damn, Buck. So we must have just walked right past each other, Buck, and didn't even know it. It was meant to be. Didn't even know it. Meant to be, bro.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I gotta give a shout out, man, to my sponsors, man, who always be, man. As soon as I put out the announcement, man, the same crew, man. My dog Danny Cervantes with the XL Movement, Holly Selassie, HD Bullies, my dog Pyru down there in Texas. Man, so I gotta definitely give them a shout out, man. I gotta get them on the line, man. So just to chop it up, man. They go around the country doing their thing, man, and showing love to the different shows. And I definitely
that's my man.
love their support.
Yeah, that's Mr. Second to None. He's good people, man.
Yeah,
He's good people. He's definitely holding the torch for the XL community. And just to backpedal just a little bit, man. Shout out to the Delaware crew, man. Some people they probably don't know, but like Bully Garage and then my guy Byron, like they really inspired me as far as doing what I do with hosting shows. You know, when they were doing their thing in Delaware, that also I got inspiration from that. And they were doing a lot of things really well. So when you come to the Wow Factor, I put my spin on it, my touch on it, but I definitely took, some of the great things I saw them doing and made it my own. I'll give you an example. They were the first people I ever saw do multiple entry with a booth. So I saw that and I loved it and I made it my own. So now when you come to a Wow Factor show, the price might be a little bit more expensive, but it gets 4 people in. You get 4 wristbands when you come to a Wow Factor show with one of our booths. So you might pay, say, $750 or $800 for a booth, but you can split it 4 ways because now you're getting 4 wristbands versus other shows, you paying $700, $800 for a booth, but you only getting 2 wristbands. And that's something that the Delaware boys did first, and I loved it, and I've been doing it ever since. So I tip my hat to the Delaware guys.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's dope, and I've always done it. Yeah.
They my boys. Love them.
Yeah.
Hey, man. I definitely got to say, man, I truly, man, appreciate y'all coming on today for the Wow Factor edition of Bully Talk.
So we're going to get you 2 times, so you got to come to Wow Factor Philly edition.
Absolutely. We're going to need you in Philly.
Because, I hope it ain't like last time, because remember last time I couldn't because of a certain situation. Because I got 2 daughters going to college, going to 2 separate directions. So I got to figure out. Hopefully it ain't on that day. If it ain't, I'm definitely all good.
For sure.
All right. Well, we know you're a family man. Check your calendar. Check with your girls. August 19th, Philly edition. Wow Factor Philly edition, August 19th.
Yeah, I'm pretty much. I think it's all good because they normally go like the week before that. So
okay.
We'll see.
For sure.
Awesome.
And once again, man, I truly appreciate y'all coming on. Mr.
You already-
James Cosby, aka Mr. Wild Factor, Curtis Collins, aka Buck, Mr. Man all over the mic, and my dog Lona Boy Visuals behind the lens, man. I truly, truly appreciate y'all coming on. Looking forward to seeing everyone March 18th, Dayton, Ohio, the Wild Factor. I'm your fun show judge. I cannot wait, man. Cannot wait. Thank you
already-
all for tuning
Thank
in. Bully Talk Zed Pitts today.
Love y'all, man.
Thank you,
Hey,
brother.
salute.
Thank you for everybody who support the Wow Factor. Thank you, Zed, for having me on. God bless everybody. Appreciate y'all.
Shout out to Mark Law all the way in the UK. We out.
We out.